The first time I did it, like 10 years ago, the sort of press, particularly the industry press in America, was like, why is he saying these awful things to the most beautiful people? You know? And then by the 5th time, right, they were going, good, give it to him, we're sick of celebrities.
Ellen DeGeneres is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her name appears in the broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals that show up across the investigative materials.
Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein.
Imagine standing in a room of the most powerful people on the planet, people who could ruin your career with a single phone call, and telling them to their faces that they're friends with Jeffrey Epstein. That's exactly what Ricky Gervais did at the Golden Globes. And while the world laughed, the faces in that audience told a much darker story. They weren't just offended, they looked terrified. For years, we thought Ricky was just a comedian with a mean streak. But as the skeletons start falling out of Hollywood's closet at an alarming rate, it's becoming clear that he wasn't joking. He was giving us a warning. And right at the center of that warning is a woman whose entire career was built on the phrase, be kind. While behind the scenes, she was allegedly part of a web so problematic, it makes the Epstein list look like a starter pack. We're talking about Ellen DeGeneres, the celebrities who are still desperately trying to protect her, and the massive exposure that's about to bring the whole house of cards down.
Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. I don't tell people not to be offended. I tell them I don't care if they are.
Right.
Be offended if you want.
Yeah.
It makes it funnier for me.
We live in an age where the line between science fiction and reality is blurring, especially when it comes to the longevity industry. In Silicon Valley, billionaires are openly investing in startups that research young blood plasma transfusions, a practice sometimes referred to as ambrosia. They believe that by infusing the blood of the young into the old, they can reverse the aging process.
At the end, I was asking about the movie, and I asked him about that one particular part where everybody's talking, and they all cried out Epstein Island. And I went, oh, okay. Now I understand what we're up against.
Wow.
Epstein Island isn't the only thing.
She believed consumption was transformation, that youth could be taken in, that vitality could be absorbed. She talked about ancient rites, about elites throughout history who understood what the masses didn't. There was a separate kitchen on her property, stainless steel, private entrance, no security cameras inside.
While the public version of this science is heavily regulated and often met with skepticism, the black market version is where the real horror lies. The rumors of extraction involve the harvesting of biological materials from young bodies, specifically during moments of intense fear or trauma. The theory, which has been whispered about in elite circles for decades, is that the body produces certain compounds during these moments that have a rejuvenating effect on whoever consumes them. This is the dark truth behind the treatments on Epstein Island and the ancient rites that Ellen allegedly described to her wife. It's a belief that youth isn't just a phase of life, but a substance that can be taken and used by those with enough power and money.
Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do this?
Not everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the serum.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra? Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Take a look at Kevin Hart. In 2018, he was on top of the world, having just landed the gig of a lifetime as the host of the Academy Awards. It was supposed to be his crowning moment, but within 48 hours, it all turned into a nightmare. Old tweets resurfaced, the internet went into a frenzy, and Kevin was forced to step down. While most of Hollywood went silent, terrified of being canceled alongside him, one person stood up with a level of aggression that felt off. Ellen DeGeneres didn't just defend him, she campaigned for him. She revealed on her show that she had personally called the Academy, telling them to reconsider. She told the world that Kevin was a good man who had changed. At the time, we thought it was just a loyal friend standing by a buddy, but in light of the recent rumors swirling around Kevin Hart's alleged involvement in certain parties hosted by people like Diddy, that defense looks a lot more like protection. People are starting to ask, why was Ellen so desperate to keep Kevin in that spotlight? Was it because they shared a mutual secret that couldn't afford to be exposed?
Well, Kevin Hart's job hosting the 91st Academy Awards lasted just 2 days. The actor and comedian was announced as the host Tuesday afternoon, but overnight Hart stepped down following an outcry over previous homophobic tweets and comments he made during stand-up routines nearly a decade ago. Anna Warner shows us how an Instagram video from Hart only made matters worse. Anna, good morning.
Good morning. Hosting the Oscars has always been one of the toughest jobs in Hollywood, but the criticism usually comes after the show. Less than an hour after Kevin Hart's announcement, a reporter posted screen grabs of the comedian's old homophobic tweets, and from there, the backlash grew.
Everything about a raccoon says crime.
Kevin Hart is known for his unique brand of comedy.
A raccoon came up to the glass doors, put his hand on the glass, saw me, shot at me twice.
And he's a fixture at the box office, starring in blockbuster hits like Jumanji.
We gotta go. I can't outrun those guys.
And the Ride-Along franchise.
You are what I say you are. Oh, God.
But just 2 days after he was announced as host of the Academy Awards, Kevin Hart dropped out, under fire for past homophobic comments on social media. On Twitter last night, he wrote, "I do not want to be a distraction. I sincerely apologize to the LGBTQ community." It was an abrupt turn from just hours earlier.
I've said who I am now versus who I was then. I've done it.
When a defiant Hart took to Instagram to say he wouldn't apologize.
I'm not going to continue to go back and tap into the days of old when I moved on and I'm in a completely different space in my life.
The comedian faced intense criticism this week after tweets surfaced from between 2009 and 2011 where he used the term gay as an insult and called people homophobic slurs.
One of my biggest fears is my son growing up and being gay.
He made similar comments in his 2010 stand-up special, Seriously Funny.
Every kid has a gay moment.
Dave Chappelle has also confirmed that this circle of modern-day slavers does indeed exist in Hollywood, and they try every day to emasculate black men in the industry.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is that something that, you wouldn't do, for?
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on a talk show this morning. I said no to that. Not that that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And you put this dress on, and what? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Man, the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why are they putting us in these dresses?
Kevin Hart's former assistant reportedly revealed that he would frequently cheat on his wife by having affairs with his own employees. She claimed to have witnessed him in compromising positions behind closed doors, specifically inside his private rooms and even the sauna. These bombshell accusations suggest that his wholesome public image was nothing more than a mask for a much darker reality.
Oh, the cheating. What have you witnessed besides everybody seeing the tape? What have you witnessed, though? Personal assistant?
I witnessed, there's a blonde girl who has this pretty curly hair. She's light-skinned, skinny. I think she's probably black and white, black and Spanish or something. She has like this fluffy, natural hair. He bought her in the office, and she drives a Range Rover. That's how I know who it is, and Kevin drives his different cars. She comes into the office, and when he introduced her to me, he said that she was his model for Hustle Heart, taking the Hustle Heart supplements and, you know, posting them.
Gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
And what you see?
Kevin and I, we shared an office. Kevin bought the entire floor. One side was Laugh Out Loud, one side was Heartbeat. And so he had the office, and then it was this big office like this, the size of this room. And right here was my office. Right here was his office. He had a middle table, the conference room, and a bathroom, his dressing room, and a kitchen. I came in one day. I don't know if anything happened, but there was somebody in his office, and I was heading to mine because somebody just put a TV on my wall. Correct. Someone was supposed to put a TV on my wall.
Okay.
And I came in and I walked right back out, and I was like, whatever is happening in there, I know it's not good. I didn't see anything, but I left.
You heard noises?
Yes. I don't know what kind of, but it was something happening. I knew who was in there.
Who?
The blonde girl.
Oh, he ain't even in hotel rooms. He said, last time I got caught up in a hotel room,
And that's why he wanted a shower. And he told his designer that he needed a new couch. And I told his designer, I said he needed a new couch because he wanted to on his couch. That's what he needs it, because the one that you got in there is not comfortable enough to be pounding some cheeks. That's why he needs a new couch.
The cost of being on the outside of Ellen's circle is something Anne Heche knew all too well. Back in the late 90s, Anne and Ellen were the ultimate power couple. They were trailblazers, the first openly gay couple of that magnitude in Hollywood history. But when they broke up in 2000, Anne didn't just lose a partner, she lost her career. She was essentially blacklisted. She spent years talking about the toxic nature of that relationship, about the mental toll it took on her, and how the industry turned its back on her the moment she wasn't on Ellen's arm.
Ellen's ex-girlfriend, who she dated from 1997 to 2000, Anne Heche, sadly passed away. Anne and Ellen, while they were together, seemed to have a bit of a toxic relationship, and when the romance eventually ended, Anne was so distraught that she had to spend time in the hospital trying to get her mental health back into a state of equilibrium. On August 5th of 2022, Anne Heche was driving her Mini Cooper in a neighborhood in Los Angeles when she crashed her car into a home at a high rate of speed just before 11 a.m. After Anne crashed her vehicle into this home, the car went into flames, and shockingly, Anne was not pulled from the car from firefighters until about 11:50. Firefighters were on scene for about 20 minutes before they said they were able to get to Anne in the vehicle due to all of the smoke. When Anne was pulled from the wreckage, she was shockingly still alive. A stomach-turning video that went viral after Anne passed away was of her sitting up out of a stretcher that medics had put her in as they were wheeling her into an ambulance. And at that time, I cannot even imagine the pain that she would have been in. Anne was taken to the hospital where she fell into a coma and was pronounced to have no brain activity on August 11th of 2022. At the age of 53, Anne would pass away, leaving behind 2 young sons. There has been a lot of conspiracies surrounding Anne's passing, as when she passed away, she had been working on a project called The Girl in Room 13, which was a movie about a girl who was being sold into trafficking. There is no evidence to support that Anne's life was taken because of this project that she was working on, but many speculate that someone had done something to her vehicle or cut her brakes or something. People close to her said she would never do this on purpose.
Former workers came forward describing a toxic environment where you weren't allowed to look Ellen in the eye. They talked about ethnic discrimination, unwanted touching, and a total disconnect between the woman on the screen and the boss behind the camera. One producer, Ha Muscat, who had been with the show for years, called her a toxic, phony, hypocrite liar. It was a total reversal of the image we had been sold, but as bad as the workplace allegations were, they were only the tip of the iceberg.
Ellen DeGeneres feeling the heat as more employees, past and present from her show, say that they were working in a toxic environment. Some Hollywood actors also speaking out against the talk show host now.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar. That's what she...
And then there's the tragedy of Stephen Twitch Boss. For years, Twitch was the heartbeat of The Ellen Show. He was the DJ, the sidekick, the man who brought the energy every single day. He seemed to have the perfect life, a beautiful wife, 3 kids, and a career that was only going up. So when the news broke in December 2022 that he had offed himself in a motel room, no one could believe it. His mother was immediately suspicious. His wife, Allison Holker, said there were no signs of depression, no financial trouble, and no note. He just went to a motel a mile from his house and never came back. The internet began to dig, and they found a disturbing connection. Twitch's death happened just as the investigations into Ellen's workplace culture were reaching a fever pitch. Some speculate that Twitch was the one person who knew the truth about what was happening behind the scenes. Not just the mean boss stories, but the real high-level misconduct. Was he a casualty of a system trying to protect its biggest asset? The official report says it was a self-inflicted wound, but for those who knew him, that story has more holes than a piece of Swiss cheese.
There's 2 things that I want to touch on because I know that you guys will eat me up if I don't. And those 2 things are the passing of Twitch and the passing of Ellen's ex-girlfriend, Anne. So very briefly, in a nutshell, Twitch was the DJ who replaced DJ Tony on The Ellen Show, and he was also a So You Think You Can Dance alumni. In December of 2022, Twitch was found unalive in a hotel room not far from his residence. It was revealed that Twitch took his own life due to a self-inflicted wound to the head. When Twitch's mother found out that her son had passed away, she was immediately suspicious and believed that someone had harmed him. Twitch's wife, family, and friends all shared that they were not aware that he was struggling emotionally, that he had been depressed, that he was having thoughts of taking his own life. No one had any clue. The family was not experiencing any kind of financial hardships. They had children together. They were in a loving marriage, according to his wife. An autopsy and toxicology revealed that he did not have anything in his system, nor was any kind of foul play thought to be in question. I believe the theory that Ellen had something to do with his passing perhaps comes from the toxic work environment that Ellen cultivated that might have weighed on Twitch harder than others. And being in a hostile work environment will cause anyone to question their worth.
In January 2020, Ricky Gervais didn't just host the Golden Globes. He delivered what many now believe was a final warning. He looked straight into the eyes of Hollywood's elite and told them that the clock was ticking. He made a joke about Jeffrey Epstein that caused the entire room to go cold. No one laughed. There were no polite giggles or performative claps. Instead, there was a deafening, terrifying silence. It was the kind of silence that happens when someone tells a truth so raw that the people in the room realize their secrets aren't as safe as they thought. But what if that wasn't just a joke? What if Gervais was shining a light on a machine that was already beginning to grind to a halt?
And not only are we not furious, most of us, we don't care, we wouldn't have even known about it if you hadn't have found it and printed it and told us we're furious. So it's just this vicious cycle. But no, I don't care. And likewise, I know people are allowed to be offended by things I've said. That's up to them. That's the good thing about freedom of speech. I can say what I want. You can say you're offended. I can care or not.
As we look toward the future, the exposure Ricky Gervais started is only going to intensify. The Epstein list, the Diddy tapes, the mysterious deaths of icons like Anne Heche and Twitch, they're all pieces of the same puzzle. A puzzle that shows a Hollywood run not by talent, but by leverage. Leverage held by people like Ellen, who spent decades gathering information while the cameras were rolling. But as Ricky famously said, "It's the last time I'm hosting this, so I don't care." He gave us the truth wrapped in a joke, and now it's up to the rest of the world to stop laughing and start looking at what's right in front of us. The gatekeepers are falling, the protectors are running scared, and the last card Ricky talked about is finally being played. The era of the untouchable elite is over, and the fallout is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen.
I didn't go out there and break the law. It wasn't mental. Everything was justified. I researched those jokes. I made sure it was fair. I wouldn't say anything to go, well, that's not fair. He didn't do that. I'd go, only tell the truth. I didn't out anyone. I didn't do anything it was not in public. I didn't do anything that was something they couldn't help. It was about their behaviors. Yeah.
What do you think? Is Ellen the key to a much larger Hollywood conspiracy? Or is she just a convenient scapegoat for an industry that's rotting from the inside out? And who are the other celebrities still lurking in the shadows, waiting for their own Diddy moment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is far from over, and the next revelation might be the one that finally breaks Hollywood for good. Stay tuned, keep your eyes open, and remember, not everything that glitters is gold, and sometimes the kindest people in the room are the ones you should fear the most.